Dawn McVeigh here. I hope you're having a great time with Stamp Affairs so far. This next challenge is all about creating your own embellishments, and I've used some paper tray dies, pattern papers, buttons, etc. to create a set of butterfly embellies, and I've also got a few tips for you along the way on how to mix and match pattern papers when creating embellishments. Okay, so let's get started. I have die cut a pile of butterflies and some little circles here. I've used the Signature Series butterfly die, the largest butterfly from the Beautiful Butterflies collection, and two dies, the circle and the butterfly from the Love Lives Here collection. I've just literally taken a random assortment of papers and die cut enough so that I could do at least 5 sets of or 5 individual butterflies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by sorting them out here, and I know that I'm going to start with the largest butterfly in the back. I've got 5 of those, and now I'm going to start piling these layers on. Now I wanted to show you a couple of times lately we've done some Make It Monday videos talking about how to mix pattern papers, and primarily that was for use like as a background pattern on a card, but the same general rules apply when you're putting together little embellishments like this and you've got multiple patterns and you want to know how to mix them to get the most pleasing look. You'll use those same principles that we did in those other couple of videos, but I wanted to show you what I mean here. Now, for instance, I've got this next size of butterfly that I know I want to layer on top of these. Obviously, I don't want to do the same pattern on top of the same pattern because I'm trying to get kind of a little mixed and matched look here. And I also know that I want to try and get all 3, my general color scheme is dark chocolate, raspberry fizz, and some vintage cream. So I want to try and get all 3 of those colors on each of these 5 butterflies that I'm putting together. So that would mean that this next butterfly, this particular chocolate stripe, should go, again, probably not stripe on stripe, probably not brown on brown, which means it should either go on the pink or on the cream. For now, we'll put it there. I just kind of wanted you to see my sort of my train of thought as I'm going through laying these out. I'm trying to not have the same color or the same pattern layered right one on top of the other. So see, I've got those 4 laid out, but now I've got pink stripes on brown stripes, and I don't really want that to happen. So I'm going to shift these around a bit. I'll put the pink stripe on the brown dot, and the pink damask then can go on the brown stripe. So we're good. Now I've got a couple of circles and a few more small butterflies, and I'm going to do the same thing here. I've got chocolate, raspberry fizz, and cream. This one's got cream chocolate, so it needs some raspberry fizz. That one needs something cream. This one is going to end up with, well, that's chocolate dots on dots. I've got 2 chocolates here, so obviously I'm going to need to mix things up a little bit. I'll do the cream there, and then I'll do a dot here. And then the way that I'm going to get some cream on that one so that I have all 3 colors is I'm going to put a cream button. So we still take care of that, getting all 3 colors on. And I've already kind of pre-selected some buttons here just to make things a little bit quicker. But another thing I wanted to show you is not all buttons are created equal when it comes to what's going to work on a card. I don't know how well you can see these 2 buttons. This one is definitely more brown, and this one, can you see, has a slightly orange cast to it. And when I put that on this card, it may not show up in the video, but it definitely looks a little bit more orange than what I would like. So you want to be sure, and even when you're selecting buttons, make sure, because you know if you're using the paper tray buttons, there are lots of different shades of the same color and lots of variety in the texture and the style of the button. Some, like this one, are definitely more sort of shiny and iridescent, and that works really great in some cases, but in this case it just makes it look more orange, and it kind of doesn't go with the pink very well. So that's just another little tiny tip for you. So I think I've got everything laid out pretty much how I want. So I have decided that for today I'm just going to use some Scrapbook Adhesives Easy Runner tape here to put a little adhesive just right in the center of each layer, and then I'm going to stack them up with that adhesive in between, and I'm only doing it right in the middle so that when we get to the end and I want to fluff all of these layers forward, all that's stuck together is right in the center and the wings can pop forward a bit. So that's the goal here. With this one, got to be a little tricky around that hole, and I know that there's a heart there and I'm going to cover it up, but that is totally fine with me. If you don't want the button, you could totally leave the heart and just let that be your top layer, but I'm going for lots of layers here, so I'm going with it. So I'm going to put these together. Again, I'm not really worrying about the fact that some adhesive is showing through that tiny heart there, because I'm going to cover that up with a button. Now I've already got some dark chocolate twine. This comes on a spool like so, but I've already got it threaded on a big needle here, and I'm just going to thread all of these buttons. And I started doing this a long time ago with particularly buttons that are going to be on butterflies. I just like to leave some tabs of the twine sticking out at the top, and that way they can sort of serve as antenna on the butterfly once I stick them on. Can you see that? So once the button is threaded, I'm just going to use a bit of score tape to adhere the button right to the center of the butterfly. Just like so. I'm going to make sure it's mashed down really good in the center so that button doesn't pop off when I fluff the wings forward. And there's one done. These are pretty quick and easy embellies to make, but super, super cute. Particularly if you do your die cutting all at once. It goes pretty fast when you're running multiples through the machine, through your die cutting machine all at the same time. This one's going to be a little bit different than the last one because it only has 2 holes, so I've decided to just tie a little knot in the front instead of making antennas. I like making each one just a wee bit different than the last if I can, just to give it some uniqueness, a little of its own personality. One thing I'll even do sometimes is change the pattern of the stitching on the buttons. Most of the time when I've stitched the 4-hole buttons, I've made a little X in the center, but in this case I just made the 2 little straight lines. Just fun little details like that that are super simple to change up, but just give another little bit of added interest to your individual little butterflies. And there we have it. 5 little butterflies ready to be used on a card or a project, and they were super simple to make. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. I can't wait to see your take on the challenge. Be sure to head over to Nicole Hetty's blog for all the information on how you can play along too. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and have a great day. This has been Dawn McVeigh for Paper Tray Inc.
I'm going to be recording something, just ignore my voice. Strawberry season. What that means is we have some strawberries. These are getting a little tired, but first thing we're going to do is make a strawberry rose. It's very, very easy to miscut, and if you do, you have to essentially start all over. So we're going to go slowly, and also very careful not to cut your finger. We'll eat that part, and then you just wind it up. And there's your first one. Another thing, you can get a knife like this at the 99-cent store. This is very easy. You just poke and poke so that all the edges are lined up. You want to poke all the way to the center. And again, cut it off so that it sits flat. This is probably the easiest one if you don't have a special knife, because you just angle the other way, angle the other way. And there it is. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to just do little cuts down, being careful not to go all the way through, of course. Bend it down just a little bit when you get there. Little trim on the end to make it set flat. And you have a little bit of a flower there. What we're going to do here is we're going to make a strawberry fan. Very quick and easy. Just cut pieces and flatten it out. And there's your strawberry fan. So, I'm not a flower expert. However, if you go to YouTube and type strawberry flower, you will get not only these four, but many other creations that you can do. This first one, you cut around the edge many times, and then you just wrap them back together. You have a geometric design done with a special tool or a regular knife point. Nothing special really needed here. By cutting down the edges many times, you can create the individual petals, or you can, here's another simple one, just cut straight down. This is a strawberry fan. For other recipes, please visit me at www.grandpacooks.com.
Hello, we're going to use 6 balloons to make a ball. Inflate all balloons, leaving a 5-inch flat tail. Let's twist a chain of 5 bubbles. We are going to twist all bubbles of the same size. It could be any size up to 3 inch. We are going to use a pentagon shape as a pattern for our sculpture. Lock both ends of the chain of the first 5 bubbles in one lock twist. We have made the pentagon. Twist a chain of next 5 bubbles. We use each balloon to twist 10 bubbles to make 2 connected pentagons. And you're absolutely right. Two connected pentagons make one digit 8. That is what we are doing right now. Lock both ends of the chain of the last 5 bubbles in one lock twist. The rest of the blue balloon is the 11th bubble. We don't need it. You can cut it off with your fingers or scissors. Tie off the end. We have made the second blue pentagon and the first digit 8. We have to twist 5 digits 8 to make the helmet. We will connect all digits 8 to each other. Twist the first yellow bubble. Lock the free end of the first yellow bubble between the first and the second blue bubbles on the right side of the top blue pentagon. Twist the second yellow bubble. Lock the free end of the second yellow bubble between, let's assume, 6th and the 7th blue bubbles. So the second yellow bubble is connected to both blue pentagons. Twist a chain of 3 yellow bubbles. Lock both ends of the chain of the first 5 yellow bubbles in one lock twist. We made the first yellow pentagon. Now let's twist the 6th yellow bubble. We are going to lock the free end of the 6th yellow bubble between the second and the third blue bubbles. Oops, I have to twist the yellow bubble again. Force the yellow balloon through the loop of the first 5 bubbles and lock it. Okay, twist a chain of 4 yellow bubbles. Think I mentioned before that we have to twist 5 digits 8 to make the helmet and 6 digits 8 to make the hat. Oh boy, we good. Lock both ends of the chain of the last 5 yellow bubbles in one lock twist. We have made the second digit 8. Cut off the rest of the yellow balloon. Tie off the end. The next 2 balloons we're going to twist and attach to each other in the same fashion as we did the first 2. Let's use the gray balloon to twist the third digit 8 and attach it to the yellow digit 8. Of course we can use just one color balloons to make this sculpture. However, it could be a bit confusing, especially if you do this sculpture first time. It is simple to make the pentagon. It is simple to make the digit 8. The confusing part, well, at least for me, it is to connect all digits 8 in shape of a ball. Okay, lock both ends of the chain of the first 5 gray bubbles in one lock twist. When we use different colored balloons, it makes our job much easier. It's easy to figure out where you have to make the connections. And the sculpture will look beautiful, colorful. Here we twist a chain of 4 gray bubbles. Now we lock both ends of the chain of the last 5 gray bubbles in one lock twist. We have made the third digit 8. Cut off the rest of the gray balloon and tie off the end. Let's use a pink balloon to twist the fourth digit 8 and attach it to the gray balloon. We do it in the same fashion as we did previously. We can use this technique and this pattern to make various sculptures of very large size. The size of bubbles is really matter for making a helmet of right size. For example, a helmet made of 1-inch bubbles hardly would fit a head of a 2-year-old child. Well, at least it doesn't fit my boy. And the helmet made of 3-inch bubbles is a bit large for my medium-sized bald head. However, it would fit perfectly well the same medium-sized head with a ponytail. Once you made a couple helmets for practice, you'll be able to figure out with easy the right size bubbles for all future sculptures. So far we were attaching all digits 8 sidewise. Our next step is to attach the top of all 4 digits 8 with one pentagon. Here you can see the 4 digits 8 connected to each other sidewise. Cut off the rest of the pink balloon, tie off the end. We can trim off the nuts or just hide them between bubbles. Now we are going to use a brown balloon. I think it is important to notice I hold the blue balloon on left, pink balloon is on right, so the blue digit 8, if we hold it vertically, will be in the lower part of our sculpture. Twist the first brown bubble. Lock the free end of the first brown bubble between the third and the fourth blue bubbles. Twist the second brown bubble. Lock the free end of the second brown bubble between the only 2 available yellow bubbles on the top of the sculpture. Twist the third brown bubble. Lock the free end of the third brown bubble between the 2 gray bubbles on the top of the sculpture. Twist the fourth brown bubble. Lock the free end of the fourth brown bubble between the next 2 pink bubbles. Twist the fifth brown bubble. Lock both ends of the chain of first 5 brown bubbles in one lock twist. We made the first brown pentagon. Our next step is to make the second brown pentagon and connect it sidewise, first with blue digit 8 and then with pink digit 8. So here we're going to make first connection clockwise to the blue balloon. Twist the sixth brown bubble. Lock the free end of the sixth brown bubble between the next 2 blue bubbles. Twist the seventh brown bubble. Lock the free end of the seventh brown bubble between the next 2 blue bubbles. Now we twist a chain of 2 brown bubbles. Here's the 8th brown bubble. Twist the 9th brown bubble. Lock the free end of the chain of the last two brown bubbles between two pink bubbles located right next to the brown balloon. Twist the 10th brown bubble. Lock both ends of the chain of the last 5 brown bubbles in one lock twist. Okay, we have made the fifth, the brown digit 8. Cut off the rest of the brown balloon and tie off the end. Tying knots could be very time consuming, but it is something that we have to do. Let's pull the bubbles apart slightly to fix them in proper positions. We have made a helmet. Let's take a look on our helmet. We can use the helmet as a base to make many different sculptures, like wigs, hats, vases, and of course balls. Yes, we have to twist and connect one more digit 8 to make a ball. So we have here 3 blue bubbles, 2 brown, 2 pink, 3 pink, and 2 gray, 2 yellow. Okay, we will make first connection between 2 blue bubbles. Twist the first green bubble. Lock the free end of the first green bubble between 2 blue bubbles next to the brown balloon. Twist the second green bubble. Lock the free end of the second green bubble between the next 2 brown bubbles. Twist the third green bubble. Lock the free end of the third green bubble between the next 2 pink bubbles. Twist the fourth green bubble. Lock the free end of the fourth green bubble between the next 2 pink bubbles. Twist the fifth green bubble. Lock both ends of the chain of the first 5 green bubbles in one lock twist. We made the first green pentagon. The last pentagon will connect all balloons together. Twist the sixth green bubble. Lock the free end of the sixth green bubble between the next 2 blue bubbles. Twist the seventh green bubble. Lock the free end of the seventh green bubble between the next 2 yellow bubbles. Twist the eighth green bubble. Lock the free end of the eighth green bubble between the next 2 gray bubbles. Twist the ninth green bubble. Lock the free end of the ninth green bubble between the next two pink bubbles. We can use the ball as a hiding place for smaller items, and it's the last chance you can put it in, I guess. And finally twist the 10th green bubble. Lock both ends of the chain of the last 5 green bubbles in one lock twist. Congratulations, we have made the ball. Let's count what we used to make this ball. We used 6 balloons, twisted 60 bubbles to make 6 digits 8 or 12 pentagons. Of course we can cut off the rest of the green balloon and tie off the end. Obviously we can use much more balloons, up to 60, to make balls of bigger size using exactly the same pattern, pentagon shape. This sculpture is very durable. It's fun to play indoor. Let's look around the sculpture. We can use pentagon pattern with less than 6 balloons to make balls. Next time I will show you how this ball can be done with 3 balloons, with 4 balloons. Here Daniel shows us the helmet. For this helmet I use 2-inch bubbles. Here's the side view, the front view, the side view, the top view. And here's the ball. We made it with 3-inch bubbles. Have fun and happy twisting!
These circle silver earrings crocheted in pewter colored embroidery thread using all natural dyes.